Hare Avinash. Let's welcome Avinash to the temple. Haribo! Pankuni. Pankuni. Let's welcome Pankuni to the temple. Haribo! So, we're very fortunate today that you all get to spend some quality time with their Lordship, Shri Gita, Jagannath, Baladev, Shavata Devi, and Radha-Madhava. Also very honored to introduce to you one of the legends of this Iskcon New Panihatidham temple. This is the oldest Hindu temple in the state of Georgia, established 50 years ago. And one of the key pillars of this temple is her grace Gita Mataji, Gita Devi Dasi, and she will be leading the discussion this evening. So let's welcome Gita Devi. Everyone, please raise your hands. Haribo! I couldn't hear you. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
then probably everyone will be asleep during the class. So, today we are going to talk about Lord Ramachandra. Since Tuesday is Ram-Navami, the appearance day of Lord Ramachandra. There is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11, text number 23. It says, Purusho Ramacharitam Shravane Upadharayan Anashamsya Parorajan Karma Bante Vimuchyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O King Parikshit, anyone who orally receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes will ultimately be freed from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned many times in his purport, especially in the Bhagavad Gita, that most people in this material world are envious. Do you agree? Yes. We find that even on the spiritual path. So Prabhupada says it's because of envy that we are in this material world. Do you agree? Because we were envious of the Supreme Lord, that is why we are here in this material world. So envy is the cause of our suffering. But the verse that we just heard clearly states that if we hear about the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, then we'll become freed from envy. How many of us want to be free from envy? Raise your hands higher. That means we agree we are? Yes. And here is a solution how we can become free from envy. There is a beautiful verse in the Brahma Samhita, text number 29, 5.39. Rama dimurti shokala niyamena tishtan nana avataram akaro bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samavad brahma pumam yo govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Lord Brahma is praying and he's saying, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna, and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. So, the scriptures clearly explain to us that there are many incarnations of Lord Krishna. And as the verse says, Ramadi, that means not only Lord Ramachandra, but other incarnations also. And what are they compared to? Waves in the river. Can we count the waves in the river? You say, oh, 1, 2, or 3, and by the time, there are so many more waves coming. Similarly, it's not possible to count the different incarnations of the Lord. Now, how many of you have heard about Ramayana? Let me put it this way. How many of you have not heard about Ramayana? You all have heard about Ramayana. Srila Prabhupada, I was reading a transcription of his lecture on Lord Ramachandra's appearance day, and also the letters that he wrote to his disciples about Ram-Navami. And Srila Prabhupada says, Ramayana is part of history. Vedic scriptures are also part of history. So it's not imagination, it is not, what is that word used? Yes, it's not mythology. It is real. It's there in the history. Srila Prabhupada says 2 million years ago, Krishna appeared as Lord Ramachandra in Treta Yuga. So it is part of history. So we've heard about Ramayana. Who wrote the Ramayana? Who was Valmiki? He was a saint? Daku. He was a dacoit. He used to stop people on the road, and he would take away all their belongings, their jewelry and money and everything. He was a dacoit. And sometimes he would even kill them to steal from them. And it so happened that one day he happened to meet Narad Muni. And Narad Muni said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing my job. That's my 9 to 5 job. Like we go for a job, right? That's my job. But do you know it's very sinful to steal and also to kill people? Who is going to face the reactions, sinful reactions of your activities? Is your family going to?" He said, "I'm sure." Narad Muni said, "Go find out." And when he went to his family, the family said, "You're just doing your job. You're supposed to feed us. Why should we take sinful reactions of your sinful activities?" And then, like they say, no, batti jal gayi, the bulb kind of lit, or the tube light. He said, "Oh, all that sinful reactions will be borne by me?" He asked Narad Muni for guidance, and Narad Muni immediately became his spiritual master, his teacher, and guided him on the path of bhakti yoga. And he was asked to chant the names of Lord Ram. What did Narad Muni say? Say Rama, Rama, Rama. He said, "I cannot say that. It's very hard for me to chant, because all my life I have been Mara, Mara. I have been killing, Mara, Mara. But Mara, Mara also becomes Rama, Rama." This is how he purified himself. We are all so very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us such a simple process. All we have to do is just chant and be happy. What do we chant? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Excuse me, what do we chant? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. We should not follow blindly just because I said Om Namo Bhagavate. No, we don't do that. We must be very firm. We should know what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommend in Kali Yuga. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Prabhupada explains in his lecture on Ram-Navami that Lord Ramachandra, he appeared almost 2 million years ago in Treta Yuga in a place called Ayodhya. How many of you have seen Ayodhya? I know. That's on my bucket list. Go to Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Ramachandra. Right? It's in the northern part of India, and he appeared on the 9th day of the moon. His father was Dashavatar, who had 3 wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kekai. And Kekai had received 2 benedictions. How many of you know all this, the whole pastime? Most know it. Some don't know, so we can. There's no harm in hearing. What did we hear in the verse when we recited? When we hear Krishna Katha, we become free from
Anxiety.
not anxiety, envy. We become free from envy. So hearing the pastimes is very, very beneficial. So his Dasharath's one of his wives, Kekai, had received 2 benedictions from the king for saving his life one time in a war. And just one day before Lord Ramachandra was being coronated, she wanted those 2 benedictions. What were they? That instead of the oldest son, which is Lord Ramachandra, being coronated, it should be her son, who was Not only that, what was the second benediction? I want Ram to go to the forest for 14 years. So when this was, and of course Dasharath had to agree because he could not break his promise, he had to keep his promise. But the son, Lord Ramachandra, can you see? An ideal son. Immediately he wanted to fulfill the promise of his father. Nowadays, if you ask the children to do something, what's the first thing they do?
Why? Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why should I do it? Exactly. Why? Give me some solid reasons. Not just reasons, solid reasons. And give me 4-5 reasons. And then I will think about it. Right? Lord Ramachandra did say, oh, why should I go? I'm the oldest son. It's your problem. You give the benediction. I didn't give the benediction. No. Immediately he agreed to go to the forest. And as he decided to go to the forest, his wife Sita, she also wanted to go. Now she was the daughter of a king, King Jana. She had lived in luxury, opulence. She was a princess before she got married to Lord Ramachandra. So she did not tell her husband, well, you go, have a good time. I'll go to my father's house and I'll enjoy my life there for 14 years. Text me when you come back. And I'll come back to the kingdom. She didn't say that. In happiness or distress, husband and wife stayed together. And so she wanted to lead an austere life with her husband in the forest for not just 4 days, 4 hours, 4 months, 14 years. That's austerity. And for us to observe Ekadashi twice a month is austerity. We have to do a lot of planning. We have to make a menu of feast. All the things that we can eat on Ekadashi. I won't talk about prasadam because then the mind will go towards prasadam. But we cannot tolerate fasting even 1 day. In fact, Srila Prabhupada in his lecture says that on Ram Navami, appearance day of Lord Ramachandra, it should be celebrated like Gaura Purnima. He wrote a letter to Mukunda Goswami. He even wrote a letter to Mahapurusha Prabhu, his disciple, that it should be celebrated like Gaura Purnima. And he said one should fast from morning till evening sunset. Till sunset. Then Prabhupada says, if possible, fast without water. How many are volunteers for that? Not many of us. Without water. He said, if you cannot, I know, it's hard. Prabhupada said, if cannot, then just drink water. If not, then just eat fruits. But the main focus should be on chanting and reading. Reading Srila Prabhupada's books. That is the purpose of performing austerity on Tuesday, which is Ram Navami day. So Lord Ramachandra, he set an example of an ideal son who immediately took his father's promise to be his own. And he immediately left with his brother and his wife to go to the forest. He did not hesitate to renounce the kingdom, those, beautiful outfits and jewelry and elaborate, food, prasadam that was there in the... No, he did not think about all that at all. When we have to go out of town, what do? Make a checklist, right? And then some of us pack our bags a week in advance. How many of you pack at the last minute? I do. I know, last minute. And then after reaching, you say, oh, I forgot this and I forgot that. He did not make a checklist. Oh, what will I need? Maybe I should take some cash with me. I may need it in the forest. Or let me, store some fruits with me and take with me, last me for a few days. No! Immediately he renounced everything. All his focus was only to follow the instructions of his father. That is an ideal son. He left his kingdom, he left his friends, he left all the opulences, everything. Prabhupada says it's like, just like a liberated soul gives up life. Like that, he just renounced everything. And we have a hard time renouncing even a pair of clothes. Right? We're so attached to it. So beautiful. How to give it up. So attached. But not. Now Lord Ramachandra, he was loved by his citizens and they were anxiously waiting for him to be coronated. They loved him so much. He was an ideal king also. Of course, he was coronated even afterwards when he was. But instead, he gave up the throne and he went to the forest. And Sita did not hesitate. She didn't have to wait for her husband to tell her. Even before he could, she was ready to go to the forest. That is an ideal wife. Now let's take the scenario of Kali Yuga. I remember hearing one story. There was this husband who was quite ill. He had some disease. So the wife took him to the doctor, and the doctor examined him, first talked to the husband, separately, and talked to him, examined him, everything. And then he asked the husband, "You please go and wait in the reception area. I want to talk to your wife." So now the wife was worried. What is it? What has doctor diagnosed? So the doctor told the wife that your husband can be cured. Oh, she was so happy. Oh, that's wonderful. What is it that is needed to make him, to cure him? And he said, it's very simple. If you can follow certain things in the house, he will be cured. Definitely. And what are those things? She took a pen and paper and she started writing. He said, you cannot get angry at him. You cannot make him do any chores in the house. Before he could continue, she said, oh yeah, I got it. And she went out, and now the husband was nervous. What did the doctor say? So he asked her, what did he say? And she said, honey, you are going to die. It is not possible that I cannot shout at you. It is not possible that you will not help me with the chores. This is Kali Yuga. But Sita, instantly she was ready to take on the austerities of living in the forest. How many of us have been to a forest? It's a scary place, right? Animals, no food, worst of all, no Wi-Fi. Can you believe no signal? I mean, especially for children nowadays, even adults, if there's no Wi-Fi for a few seconds, it feels like 12 years. There has been no Wi-Fi for 10 seconds. There are tears coming down like torrents of rain. Where is Wi-Fi? It's my life and soul. But in Treta Yuga, that was not the case. It is said, Lord Ramachandra was such an ideal king that he would sit in the audience, open ground, in the audience. Anyone could come up to him with any kind of complaint. And if we opened up a complaint session, what will happen?
Nobody will listen, not anything.
Nobody will listen.
Everybody will have their own.
But no one had any complaints because everyone was happy in Ram Rajya. They had everything, they were happy. It is said that there was no fear, no distress, no lamentation, no desire, nothing at all, even no death. That means in that age, people decided when to die. And Srila Prabhupada said, if I am given the opportunity, I can bring Ram Rajya back even in Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Lord Ramachandra was an ideal son, ideal brother, ideal husband, ideal king. And that was the reason he came down. Krishna incarnated as Lord Ramachandra to teach us, give us an ideal example even for a good government. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned so many times Lord Ramachandra in his lectures, also about Ramarajya. He actually appeared to educate the people in general, where everyone could be living happily. So it is said, Prabhupada says, that during the time of Lord Ramachandra's reign, there was no bodily suffering, no mental suffering, no distress, no fatigue, no disease, no fear, no lamentation. How many of us would like to live in Ramarajya? Wouldn't that be wonderful? But we can make it in our homes. Is that possible? Yes. If we have strong sadhana in the house, if we make our home a temple where chanting of the holy names of the Lord happen, where there is reading of Srila Prabhupada's books, where we are following the regulative principles, where we are associating with devotees, where we are giving this knowledge to others, where we are doing some service, then we live in a very peaceful environment. So Lord Ramachandra was a saintly king, and with his behavior, he set a very good example for us. And it is said, Prabhupada says, that he took care of his citizens like his children. Can any of us call the president Papa? Can any of us do that? What is there in the state? What? A governor or what? What? I don't know. I don't know anything about politics. What's there? Governor? Can we call him Papa? This is Kali Yuga. But during the reign of Lord Ramachandra, everybody was happy. Everyone used to speak about him with reverence, about his nobility, about his integrity, about his virtues. So just by hearing about Lord Ramachandra, we can become free from envy. So now it's up to us to turn our hearts and see, is there envy in my heart? If there is, then what is the solution? Hear the pastimes of the Lord. Of course, chant also. Chanting is the main thing. Prabhupada says 99% of our progress in spiritual life is based on chanting. But not just chanting, attentive chanting. It's not that we are chanting and we are doing other things at the same time, like reading. You know, when the finger is out of the bead bag, like this, what is this finger out for? To surf the net, right? Yes or no? Right? With you do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. No. When we are chanting, we are only chanting. We are not hearing a lecture, we are not reading, we are not surfing, we are not driving, we are not doing anything. Why? Because there is no difference between the holy name and the Supreme Lord Himself. When we are chanting, we are calling out to the Lord to help us so that we can do some service for him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, hearing is the most powerful sense. Just by hearing, we can purify ourselves. Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Naste Naste Naste. There is no other way except chanting, chanting, chanting. So when we are, we should consider that when we are chanting, we should think it's a tragedy that we are chanting, but we are not attentive. It's a tragedy. Where is the absorption? Very, very important to be absorbed in what we are doing. Right? So we are very, very fortunate. Tuesday is Ram Navami, appearance day of Lord Ramachandra, and another opportunity for us to chant more. Srila Prabhupada in his lecture on Ram Navami says that on this day at least we should try to chant throughout the day. Chant as much as we can, but attentively. Read about Lord Ramachandra, hear about Lord Ramachandra. Read Srila Prabhupada's book, associate with devotees. And make sure when we associate with devotees, we do not talk about what's the stock market or what's happening in the White House. We talk about Lord Ramachandra, about his pastimes. Of course, on Tuesday we'll hear a lot of pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. I kept it for Tuesday, that is the Ram Navami day. But today we are trying to understand why did Krishna incarnate as Lord Ramachandra? Does anyone remember why? Yes, to teach us to set an ideal example. An ideal son, ideal husband, ideal king, ideal brother. This is what he came. To teach us to set an ideal example. He came in the human form. So when we have everything, Srila Prabhupada has given us a house in which the whole world can live. He's given us Maha Mantra, he's given us festivals, his books, temples, devotees. I'm forgetting one thing, and what is that? Prashadam. See, that means the mind is still meditating. When is she going to stop? So we can go outside and we can enjoy the prashadam. But this is also necessary. We eat prashadam with our mouth, but we hear holy name with our ears. That is also very important. Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? Does anyone have any difficulty? I'm not asking about your material problems, because that's a long list, right? It's a very long list. What is the difficulty? The difficulty is time. What is the biggest excuse one can give is, I don't have time. But we can make time. If Bhakti Yoga is important for us, if chanting is important for us, we can definitely find time. So I would encourage all of you to please come on Tuesday to celebrate Ram Navami, appearance day of Lord Ramachandra. How? By chanting, dancing, feasting, hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna is the original Supreme Lord. Lord Ramachandra is not. Lord Ramachandra is an incarnation, one of the incarnations of Lord Krishna. He is one of the chief incarnations of Lord Krishna. And when we hear about the Supreme Lord, all his incarnations, we are actually associating with him. Because there is no difference between the Lord and his holy name. And what happens when we hear? We fall asleep. No? Only 2-3 are saying no. When we hear, it purifies us, it purifies our heart, purifies our mind, purifies our senses. So if we feel that we do need purification, then the best thing is to hear Krishna Katha. And you will hear Ram Katha on Tuesday. Lord Ramachandra ki Jai. Does anyone have any questions or comments or realizations? Yes.
Can you clarify what is envy? Like, it was a nice explanation of what envy is.
So, Srila Prabhupada gives an explanation about difference between jealousy and envy. So, jealousy is someone else has what I have but more. So, I'm jealous of that person. Envy is when I don't have what someone else has and I want it. And a nice example is that the neighbor has a beautiful wife, but I don't. So I'm envious of my neighbor. So that's Any other question? Yes.
How Queen Kunti and Arjun developed the love for Krishna?
How did they?
How did they develop the love for Krishna?
How did Queen Kunti and Arjuna develop love for Krishna? Fortunately for them, she was the aunt of Krishna, so she had good association with him. And based on the knowledge that she had, she knew this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Arjuna was fortunate that Krishna was his best friend. But till he heard the Bhagavad Gita, he didn't know that this is the Supreme Lord. He used to treat him like a best friend, lay down on the bed with him, eat with him, joke with him, etc., etc. But when he heard Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that's when he realized, oh, this is God. He also saw the universal form of the Lord and the Vishnu form of the Lord and then the Shyamsundar form. So he had a lot of association. Of course, Pandavas are pure devotees of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that when the Supreme Lord comes down on this earthly planet, he brings along with him his associates to be his relatives like, Mother Yashoda and all. So Pandavas also came down. So they already were pure devotees and in love with Krishna. But Arjuna was put into, or he pretended to be in ignorance that I don't know who this is, he's just my friend. So that Krishna could speak the Bhagavad Gita and we could understand that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he already was in love with Krishna, but after he understood that this is God, his love increased. But he came down for being part of Krishna's pastimes on this earthly planet. Okay, so if there are no more questions or comments, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Lord Ramachandra ji.
Alra and family to please come up. And also like to request Nupur Mataji to please come up to perform the arati. Gopinath Prabhu is here. Okay, perfect. Jai seeking the prayers of all the devotees because their mother is going through some health crisis. And so as devotees, whenever we are in difficulty, we always surrender to Krishna. When we come into this world, we pray to Krishna. When we leave this world, we pray to Krishna. Whenever we face any difficulties, we still pray to Krishna. So if you don't mind to please raise both your hands, and we're going to pray to their lordships as loud as you can from the deep chambers of your heart together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. We also like to Padmini Radha. She sponsored the feast to celebrate her grandfather's departure from this world. Her grandfather was a prominent lawyer in West Bengal, India, and he was very instrumental in the land procurement and legalizing and helping Mayapur with all its legal matters. So he had passed away 13 years ago, and she's been making sure that his legacy of dedicated, selfless service goes on. So she wanted all the devotees to pray for the life that he lived in his service to Srila Prabhupada's mission, and for the family that are still around today. So if you all don't mind to please raise both your hands. So his name is Durjay Govinda Prabhu. Together? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. So just a few brief announcements and then we will set you off to have your prasadam. So on the 16th of April, it's a Tuesday, as Gita Mataji was very nicely presenting this Rama Rajya, when Lord Ram came, how the world was so noble and everything was so perfect that you never died, you only chose your death. It's quite fascinating, so many beautiful tidbits, so much information. She provided it in such a short time, so we're going to celebrate the birthday of Lord Ram, his appearance day. So in the temple, although it's a Tuesday, so most of you may be working from home. Some of you may be going to office because it's not mandatory office day. Tuesday is not for most companies. It's Wednesdays and Thursdays or Wednesdays and Fridays. So we request you and we invite you to please join us for celebrating the appearance day of Lord Ram, starting at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. we are going to be bathing Lord Ram, doing an Abhishekam, and every one of you will get to participate personally to bathe Lord Ram. And the meditation on this day of Lord Ram is, as Gita Mataji points out, that if you just simply come and celebrate the life of Lord Ram, you will be free from envy. It's the only quality that has no use in spiritual life. It has no utility. So this is such an important day for us to come and celebrate the life of Lord Ramachandra, so we can be free from this quality that has no value in spiritual life. The only quality that has no value. So please come, and the celebration will begin at 6 p.m. We would like all of you to meditate on the glories of Lord Ram. There will be beautiful pastimes being narrated, ecstatic kirtans, and a lovely feast. So that's on Tuesday, not far from today. And then on the 19th, which is Friday, is Kamala Ekadashi. And it is the first day of our Kirtan festival, 3-day Kirtan festival. It is the first day. It is the day of Adivas, and also happens to be the Vyasa Puja ceremony, celebration of His Holiness Jaya Pataka Swami Maharaj. Some of you may not know him. For those of you who do not know, please come on this day to hear his glories, his dedicated service to Srila Prabhupada, and to spread the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there will be an Adivas ceremony for the Kirtan, and a Vyasa Puja celebration, and an ecstatic Kirtan with a big feast. So that is how we are beginning the weekend of the 19th. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. So also want to mention that for the Kirtan festival, there is still opportunities for everyone to participate. We are expecting a big turnout, and that means that we need help in the kitchen to cut and clean, to prepare this delicious feast every day, 3 times a day. Free feast for everyone that comes to participate in the Kirtan. Who knows what is Kirtan? Raise your hand if you know what is Kirtan. Raise your hand if you don't know what is Kirtan. Okay, for the 2 of you. Kirtan is the music of the heart. But you just had 2 seconds ago chanting and dancing these mantras. It opens up the different chambers of the heart to enable you to experience what is divine love in the heart. So what we have here is an annual Kirtan festival for 3 days, 8 hours a day. There's going to be this deep meditation of chanting and dancing. And this sound vibration is what creates your internal spiritual reality. And so all the doors, the different chambers in your heart will open up if you simply sit and enjoy the Kirtan. And you won't even know what happened. You'll walk in here with a big weight on your shoulders and you leave here wanting to fly. Because that is what happens when you actually experience the spiritual ecstasy in your heart. So, this is what's happening. And there is going to be many opportunities for everyone to participate. You're welcome to come and wash dishes, sponsor the feasts. There's going to be Kirtaniyas coming from all over the United States, and some are even coming from abroad. And so there's going to be a lot of expenses that we'll incur. And you're all requested to participate and be part of this grand celebration. There's a lot of opportunities for feeding people, because you're feeding breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you're welcome to please participate. And we also have some updates. The first weekend in June is our annual biggest celebration of this temple. This temple was established 50 years ago. It's the oldest Hindu temple in the state of Georgia. The oldest. And these deities here are the oldest deities in the state of Georgia. Now the state of Georgia has over 30 temples, Hindu temples. But this was the first one that was established in Atlanta. So there is an interesting festival that's been going on for 50 years. And this is the festival of chariots. And also the festival of chipped rice. There's a day they make this special cuisine. It's like you have the veggie fest, vegan fest. You have something called the chipped rice fest. This chipped rice are almost 156 different varieties of chipped rice is made. Fruits and vegetables and nuts are imported from different parts of the world to make this special cuisine where everyone gets to participate, preparing it, and then offering it to their lordships, and then honoring it. So for that, we also started our preparations. We're going to be having the parade in downtown Atlanta. So the permit has been submitted and we're just waiting on them. And so for that, so far we already have different devotees, different members who have already pledged to make this festival a success. This festival is a big operation. It's a 3-day event and it's a lot of logistics, a lot of moving parts, and a big opportunity for all of us to see how we can participate in serving. So I'm just going to announce the names and how much they pledged and what are their pledges for this festival. And then we'll all together pray for them, and then you can also participate in whatever way you would like to participate. So Adi Gadadhar Prabhu and Radha Bhav Mataji, along with their whole family, they pledged $10,001. You know, I always say this, it's a very powerful spiritual principle, you can keep this in mind. When you glorify someone else, then you get all of their good qualities. So if you want to be rich, you want to be a good, knowledgeable scholar like him, a good Vaishnava like him, so let us recognize this devotee family who pledged $10,001 to serve all the devotees. Boy is going to be rich. And then we have Radha Krishna Prabhu. Radha Krishna Prabhu is... Are you here, Radha Krishna Prabhu? Adi Gadadhar Prabhu is here? No. Only Maithili is here. You drove here by yourself. They wanted to send their expansion, their little expansion. Radha Krishna Prabhu also sponsored $5,001. So inspired, so enthusiastic. Dimple Mazumdar, $2,501. Siddharth Sarin, $1,001. And then Krishna Dalvesh, $1,350 for the dress for the DDs. Vardhana Mataji, $1,350 for the dress for the DDs. Uttama Radhika Mataji, 1111. So inspiring, isn't it? So much purity in the heart. Srinivas Anand Prabhu, 1111. Badal Rai and family, 1111. We're going to give him extra sweets today. He needs more sweets. And then the disciples of Jayapataka Maharaj, they sponsored the big Panihati pot, 1501. Whenever you see him, please give him some sweets. Everyone must offer him sweets. So this is our update. Please pencil these dates in your calendar. You will love this festival, the Kirtan festival and the Rath Yatra and Panihati festival. This Rath Yatra festival is happening in over 100 cities around the world. Over 100 cities. It happens even in the middle of Middle East. Recently they have a temple now. But Rath Yatra has been happening for the last 15 years in Middle East. So imagine, this is started in Jagannath Puri, now it's happening in every nook and corner of the world. And you all get to participate in this most ecstatic festival. It is explained that if you simply come and see Lord Jagannath on the chariot, then you will be freed from taking birth again in this material world. So it's a very powerful festival. So thank you all very much. Please come and have last darshan of the deities and prasadam will be served outside.